guys, today we're going to be testing these foam rollers made by Conair. And the reason we wanted to try these out is we've done foam rollers in the past, mostly when she was a little girl, but the ones we had the plastic clips which would snag her hair and they were horrible to sleep on. And then they were also really small, so they made tighter curls. As you can see, these rollers are pretty big, so we're hoping that they make looser curls. And then they don't have any clips on them. Supposedly they're bendable. We're hoping that they stay in. She washed her hair earlier and it's had a chance to dry completely, and then I'm just going to be spraying a little bit of water. You're going to want to make sure that your hair is almost dry. Damp would be best, probably 80% dry. You don't want to start with soaking wet hair because it will not dry by morning. And then we only have 8 curlers, so I'm going to try to do 4 on each side. She doesn't necessarily want the curl to go all the way up to the root, so I'm going to start them down a little bit lower. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray this with a little bit of water. Again, I'm not wanting it soaking wet, just damp. These curlers are really squishy, and again, I'm not wanting super tight curls, so I'm going to be careful just to loosely roll this up. If I tighten it down, it's going to be a tiny curl. So I'm starting down at the very ends of her hair, and I'm just going to carefully roll that first section onto the roller. And then again, I'm just keeping this loose. I'm trying not to squeeze her hair onto that. And I'm not going to roll it up all the way. I'm going to stop about right here, and then I'm just going to bend that, and I'm hoping it'll stay in place. It does seem to be staying. I'm not sure that it's too promising that that's going to hold overnight. I was going to mention is you don't want to start like in the center of your hair and wrap it this way and then finish rolling it up. It tends to get really tangled that way and not make a nice uniform curl. I can see that for people with layers it's harder to start with the ends like this, but what I would suggest is to start rolling, and then any ends that are hanging down, just add them in as you go so that your hair is going to be all curled in one direction. Tip for you, especially if you have thicker hair, is you want to start at the end of the roller and then kind of roll the hair across as you're going up so that it's not all situated just in one little piece, and that's going to help it dry a little bit faster. Now that we have all of these rollers in place, I'm already seeing that some of this hair is coming out. If you haven't noticed, my daughter's hair is super straight and slippery. It doesn't have a lot of texture, so I really don't see these staying in overnight. So we are going to cheat a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just take the top of these rollers, and I'm just adding a small elastic to keep those together. And that's just going to make me feel better that this isn't going to be an entire waste of a night. So we have them all ready for her to go to bed. I think these are going to be pretty comfortable to sleep on because they are super soft. Hey guys, we're back. It's the next morning, and here's how the curlers ended up looking. It's been about 10 hours since we put these in. Just going to get rid of all these elastics first, and then we'll start unrolling. After taking this first one out, I'm pretty happy with how that curl is looking. It's not super tight, it's just a nice loose bouncy curl. And as you can see, the curler just slid right out. There's nothing to snag or anything like that. So I think we're gonna get a pretty good result with these. I'm noticing that even though we barely sprayed any water on this, they're still not completely dry. I'm feeling just a slight bit of moisture, so you definitely don't want to get your hair super wet as you're putting these in. Okay, here's how they're looking straight out of the curlers. Even without doing anything to these, I think they're looking pretty good. I'm going to grab a comb and just go through the top of this and then maybe separate them a little bit, and I'm hoping that the curls will stay. Here's the end result just after a little bit of finger combing and flipping it upside down. I think it looks pretty good. and I would definitely use these again. They were super easy to put in. They came out easily. The only thing I would change is I wouldn't get these quite as wet as I did because they are still a little bit damp, like I mentioned.